Have a chaplain, please. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Bruce Collis. I serve as one of the chaplains for the Bismarck Police Department. And on behalf of Crisis Care Chaplaincy, thank you for allowing us to open this meeting in prayer. If you are able, I'd like to have you stand with me for the prayer and also for the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for this beautiful evening. Thank you that we can live in a place where we experience and enjoy the change of seasons and the warm summer weather. Grant safety and strength for farmers and others as harvest continues, and we thank you, of course, for the recent rains. Thank you for the privilege of living in this county of Burleigh and in this great state. Thank you for the many blessings and opportunities that this local county offers for our families and each of us who live here. I pray today for the commissioners gathered here that guide the affairs of the county. Thank you for the citizens who've come also. And I ask that your Spirit guide the discussions and decisions, many of which are not easy, that they would prove to be in the best interests of all the citizens. Thank you for the freedom citizens have to speak up and be heard. And I ask that each one would be blessed by you as they carry out their responsibilities. I also pray for our first responders, those who put themselves in harm's way to protect the citizens of this community, our sheriff, his staff, other law enforcement, firefighters, EMS workers, dispatch, healthcare workers, and others. Please protect them in their line of duty so that they might protect those of us who've placed our trust in them. Help them to be resilient as they deal with their own emotions when facing impossibly sad and heart-wrenching situations. Grant them wisdom and peace. So God, we ask for your guidance in everything said and done this evening. I'm thankful for each and every one of the blessings you give us. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's say the pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that, Bruce. We'll call the August 17th, 2026 meeting of the Burleigh County Park Board to order. First item is roll call of members.
Commissioner Herman.
Here.
Woodcox.
Here.
Munson.
Here.
Bakken.
Here.
Schwab.
Here.
Bame.
Here.
Chairman Bittner.
Here. Next is the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner.
I had asked Auditor Sponskowski to swap A and B before the packet came out, but I see it's not been swapped. So I would like to move to approve the agenda with A and B swapped, please.
Will we approve with it amended?
Yes.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion second. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Woodcox.
Yes.
Munson.
Yes.
Bakken.
Yes.
Schwab.
No.
Bame.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Consideration of the August 3rd, 2026 meeting minutes.
Move to approve?
Is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Munson.
Yes.
Bakken.
Yes.
Schwab.
Yes.
Bame.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Woodcox.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Next item is public comment. It's restricted to Burleigh County residents and landowners. Does anybody wish to speak to the Burleigh County Park Board? Once again, this is public comment. Anybody wish to speak? Public comment. Anybody wish to speak? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment period and move into Commissioner Munson, 7B.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had the opportunity to interview a couple candidates for the new hybrid Parks and Highway Department employee. We had some really good interviews through that process. Today I'm before you to ask for an increase from step 5 to a step 8 for the prospective employee that we selected. He currently has a CDL license, which is going to be very helpful for him on the highway department side. He doesn't need it for the park board side, but he certainly would be a benefit if we were able to hire him for that hybrid position. Our guesstimation is he's gonna work 60% of his time for the highway and 40% for the parks, so it does make good sense to add a CDL driver to our employees. So with that, I would move to approve the employment offer to a step 8.
Second for discussion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for discussion. Commissioner Schwab. Hang on, Steve. Steve Schwab.
What are we talking about, wages? What is the wage?
If memory serves me correctly, it's about $1.50 difference per hour.
I mean, the total wage.
If Pam is here, I'd have to ask her for that help.
Come on up, Dan.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. I'm just looking at the step and scale system that we currently have published, and it looks like it would be, this is last year's 2026. So a grade 3, step 5, which is what we can do before we go to a variance, would be a $25.88 an hour. Nope, I take that back. $21.38 an hour, and a step 8 would be 23. Just double checking my math here. $23.30 an hour. So $21.38 versus $23.30 an hour.
So almost $1.92.
How does that, while you're up there, Dan, how does that relate to hiring a highway department employee with the same kind of
So
expectations or
Commissioner,
duties?
Mr. Chairman, so we grade out our highway maintenance worker 2s with a CDL at a grade 5, and the highest we would start with them would be a step 5, which would be a 25.88, but depends on experience and things like that. So the bottom of that would be, step 8 would be comparable to the bottom of our step 5, or grade 5 range. So that one would be $23.32 an hour would be a step 1. So it would be comparable to a starting brand new, no experience highway maintenance worker.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Bakken, you had something?
Y'all answered my questions.
Okay.
I don't think it's enough. To keep him permanent. But he will get stepped up after 6 months.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll see what his performance is, but
Sure, that's fair.
that's the lowest starting wage.
Okay.
And I challenge Pam and Desiree on this as well, but because of the part-time park side and where he doesn't require a CDL, when we wrote the job description, this was the highest that we could go without, obviously, board approval to the step 8.
Okay, any further discussion?
Did we have a motion?
Motion to, yep, and a
Second?
second, yep.
Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Bakken,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwab,
Still think it's too low. Yes.
Commissioner Bame,
Yes.
Commissioner Herman,
Yes.
Commissioner Woodcox.
Yes.
Commissioner Munson,
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Next.
The next item is the reorganization of the Burleigh County Park Authority. We have had this in front of us now for about 2 months, the plan, the thought processes. I did want to answer one of Chair Bittner's questions last week when we talked. In the budget, I do have for the 26-27 year, the hybrid maintenance worker, which we just authorized to go to step 8. as well as a park district manager. Just the 2 employees, actually 1.5, if you will, for 27. 28 would be the additional, if needed. That's budgeting for next year that we'll have to go through. With that, I think Chair, Mr. Bakken and I have done a lot of work on this over the last year as we're re-envisioning how things could work within our park district and within our organization. And with that, I would move to approve. The second line of that motion would be to ask State's Attorney Lawyer to have ready for us at our first September meeting the proper paperwork, I'm missing a word here, resolution for the Burleigh County Commission to approve.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for discussion. Any further discussion? Commissioner Schwab.
Number one, Burleigh County can't legally have a park district. That's state law.
It's not a park district, we're not gonna be taxing anything separate for it.
Well, wait a minute. Based on actual
Julie, can you speak
operation.
into your microphone?
What?
Hang on.
Please?
Say again.
He wants you to speak in your microphone.
I couldn't hear State's Attorney Lawyer.
I said the use of the word district is a misnomer because it's not like we're going to be taxing separately for the park board district or this, this new department that we're gonna have. It's not gonna be something where we're taxing them separately as a park district.
Well, what concerns me here, mill levy evaluation based on actual operation data from the first 6 months determines the necessary mill levy for the 2027 fiscal year to maintain service levels without relying on reserves. This is similar to what Garrison Diversion does. We're going to be collecting taxes. They're going to tell us we need this. I don't think we want this is a round, it's a runaround of state law as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think we should have somebody out there, any kind of an organization that can come and say, well, we need so many mills because if we don't, we won't make it through the year. So they're technically, what'll happen is they'll get the mills. And the one thing about the park board in Bismarck, they got a cap. There's no cap here. And it's not a district.
Nope, it's not a district.
Well, then why is district in here? That's my question.
This is going to be a group no different than this park board currently is. The park board requests the budget from Burleigh County Commission. Burleigh County Commission approves and/or adjusts as the commission feels necessary to do so. This authority has no right to tax the residents individually. It all goes through the Burleigh County Commission.
But if you,
I'm not seeing any need to muddy up the water here. I think that what we're doing right now works just fine.
Chair?
well,
Yeah, Commissioner Bakken.
Well, part of I think the park board commission works just fine right now in structure. I think what we need to do is set up for future growth of not only Missouri Valley Complex, but other opportunities for park and recreation within Burleigh County. That's what this is taking a step in doing. I would like to see the county park board as an authority remain the same in structure. But, you're correct, Commissioner Schwab, in that district is a little confusing, and State's Attorney Boyer is correct that it's a misnomer. That's one of the reasons we're looking at changing it to an authority rather than a district. But this is going to set up the county park authority, if you will, for the future, and it'll be a department just like every other department.
Well, Commissioner Bakken, the way I see it, and I understand what you're saying, but if you really read between the lines here, County Commission appointing authority for lay members and mill levy oversight. That's the role of the park district. That's exactly what it says here. And if they decide they're going to if they do a project and they have a big overrun because somebody made a mistake or whatever comes up, we need to raise the mill levy. You put up a horse arena, we need to raise the mill levy. I can't go along with having
So, Commissioner Schwab, you mentioned that there's no cap. We're the cap. County Commission is the cap. In structure, this remains the same as it is. So the County Commission is the authority by which it is capped. It doesn't go above and beyond anything that we dictate in the budget. If somebody does a project out there that has a cost overrun, we're not on the hook for that. That's the project's cost overrun, not ours. So we are the cap when it comes to the authority of funding for this department.
As we are now.
Right.
I mean, I don't see a need to make any changes. Go ahead, Commissioner Schwab.
I understand, Commissioner Bakken, what you're saying, but this is opening a door to things that can happen in the future, and I just can't go along with it. And I have spent a lot of time trying to come up with ideas to get that fairground moving, and I have a bunch of them. And I think they're going to work. So the thing about it is, if we start combining things and we don't have an independent fairground, that's going to throw a monkey wrench in. I thought that maybe Chair LaCole would be here tonight. Is she? Could you come up?
While she's coming up, Mr. Schwab,
Go ahead.
can you tell me where in this document it says Park District? What page?
Well, there's several pages.
First page.
You can start with page 9, page 7.
Page 1. Page 6 on the
Okay, I see that here, yep.
Anyway, Kay, you're the chair, right?
Correct.
Of the Missouri Valley Complex.
Yep, yes, Chair Bittner, Commissioner Schwab, the Missouri
What do
Valley
you-
Complex Committee.
You know, I've been asked by several people, what direction would you take? And I think that you guys need direction, right? Because you're kind of at a standstill.
Yes, and that's one of the agenda items that was discussed at our last meeting, was to request from the Burleigh County Commission direction.
And I'm aware of that. So I guess you can go back to the recording of the meeting for all I'm going to say. It's not really too much. I think what you should do is go talk to the Western Power Association. You're just up the road.
WAPA?
Yep.
Okay.
Find out the voltage of the lines running through there. How close can you build? The old setback used to be 50 feet. However, some of that stuff has changed on account of guys like me that have a defibrillator, whatever.
I'm not sure where he's headed with that.
Because you don't know how much land you've got until you do that. There may be federal guidelines now that you gotta stay 150 feet away. You don't know that. Then, when that's done,
That should come out in our approvals next meeting at the planning and zoning.
can I finish?
Oh, sorry, I'm
Hang
sorry.
on,
Yes.
Commissioners, I think we're kind of straying from the question here. We're, the motion and the second in front of us was to do with the makeup of the park board. I think we can work on those things under a different discussion, but this is discussion about,
The problem that I have, Commissioner Bittner, Chair Bittner, is that by combining these two with what I'm going to say probably wouldn't be the best. I would like to say what I want to say and then,
okay, well, I'm okay with
That's
that. But can we be a little brief?
then I think what you need to do is go out and do some soil testing. Everybody's got plans for buildings and nobody knows the kips of the soil. You don't even know if you can build the size building you want on this location. Then you need a map showing the elevations. You might be able to get that from the highway department, the city, or the architect. You need that. We're throwing a package together here. You need to consolidate this information. And
Mr.
then,
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
once you got
Commissioner
the,
Woodcock?
I think we're way off topic here. I don't know where we're headed with this, but.
I'm just about done. I'm just about done. And then when you're done with all of that, I think what you should do is try to take this thing and let private enterprise do it. And that, there are people that invest in these kind of developments out there. So the reason I'm saying this is because if you throw the fairground in with the parks, I don't think that's going to work very well. But I can guarantee you there are groups out there that have lots of money that are looking for places to put it,
Okay,
and I think you win.
I appreciate that input. Thank you, Commissioner. The question
Chair?
is, Commissioner Bakken.
This was for discussion, was my second for discussion, which I'm in favor of moving this plan forward because it does help give other entities direction out there. It gives us more control as a county commission and a park authority or park board at the moment. Commissioner Schwab brought up an interesting point, though. Commissioner Munson's been working through this. Other people have been working through this. This is the first time I've heard him bring up he's got a whole bunch of ideas, and I haven't heard him before. I would have loved to have heard some of his input, but are you sitting on these ideas? Or are you kind of keeping them under your hat so something doesn't get done? Because if something doesn't get done, then why the hell do we own the property? Sell the damn thing. Let as much as I hated a data center go in there or something else, I don't care. Sell the damn property, but we need to do something. And this is a step forward.
Were you asking me if I was sitting on these ideas?
First time I've heard them. First time I've heard you bring up that I have a whole slew of ideas. Where have they been?
Where have they been? All I do is sit down at my computer, run AI, and I had time to do it, and this is what I come up with. And then I threw in my experience with development, and here you are, you're getting this presentation, and I'll tell you, it's going to work.
Okay. Would you repeat the motion?
I didn't write it down in detail.
The motion is to approve the reorganization of the Burleigh County Park Authority and giving State's Attorney Lawyer time between now and the next Burleigh County Commission meeting to come up with a resolution for the county board's approval, county commissioners' approval.
Okay, any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Bain.
could we have this document that's before us purified so that we have one name for what we are, either park district, park board, park authority?
That's a good point. I don't have an answer for you.
I think that's a starting point, though.
Yeah. Well, I did watch the last committee meeting, and you can go ahead and sit down.
Thank you.
I did watch the last committee meeting, and there was some discussion about that relating to county park authority, and there's apparently nothing in the law that allows that, so I don't think that would be the name. I don't see the need to change the makeup of the county park board or to call it something different. I think that at one time, it's my understanding that there was a citizen, more citizens on that board, and for some reason, the commission stopped that and became the park board. And I don't have good historical information as to why, but I think that was kind of a flag there.
Right.
This board is responsible for the financial decisions, and being elected people, obviously you're responsible to the elected people, to the electorate. And I think that appointing people to do the work of the park board really dilutes that authority, and it makes it just too confusing. So those decisions ultimately really come to the county commission anyway. And so I don't see a need to make any changes. Any further discussion?
My broader look at this is getting more county individuals or residents involved in the park board or the park authority, whatever the final name is, and we will have to refer to state attorney lawyer to determine if we can be a park authority. We chose, Commissioner Bakken and I chose park authority more to make sure we weren't confused with the park district of the city of Bismarck or the current park board that we have structured. So the idea of using park authority came into play during the conversations, which made good sense to me. It's a new group, it's a new thought process and a new way of doing things. And so I do support it. I think it gives us more representation on the park authority from appointed residents within our community. The trouble we ran into, or I still see with the Missouri Valley Complex, they really are, and how it was designed and how it was approved by this board, or not this board, but the commission. They're literally just a think tank of people that get together to talk about things that can change and can be approved, and they are my eyes and ears. They bring those to me, I bring them to you. In this situation, in my opinion, those park board members would have operational duties, would have if you will, a park that is theirs to take care of, to make sure is operating correctly and being monitored correctly. Gives more input from our residents, and I think it's good that we have more resident involvement, and this will give it.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Schwab.
No.
Commissioner Bain.
Yes.
Commissioner Herman.
No.
Commissioner Woodcox.
Yes.
Commissioner Munson.
Yes.
Commissioner Bakken.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
No. Motion carries.
What was the total? 4-3.
Commissioner Schwab.
Now is the time, can I add to that?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I want everybody to understand one thing. The Civic Center in Bismarck has never made money. It's been wrangled here, wrangled over there, but they never made money. And what I said tonight is possible, very possible. There are very wealthy people that once one jumps in, they get their friends to come in. And the thing about it is, what did the city of Bismarck after? How long has that Civic Center been there? They threw the towel in and they hired somebody from the outside, and they come in and they're going to do $5 million with the repairs. So my idea is not that far off. It's just got to be implicated.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for the input. Any other business for the good of the County Park Board? Seeing none, we'll adjourn the County Park Board. Thank you, guys. And I will call the August 17th meeting of the Burleigh County Commission to order. First item is roll call of members.
Commissioner Woodcox.
Here.
Commissioner Munson.
Here.
Commissioner Bakken.
Here.
Commissioner Schwab.
Yo,
Chairman Bittner.
Here. Approval of the agenda. You can see we're pretty short on agenda items here today. I'm going to add something under other business. There's going to be my understanding is we're going to have a little discussion about finance department. Okay. So that'll be under other business. Anything else on the agenda? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Munson.
Yes.
Commissioner Bakken.
Yes.
Commissioner Schwab.
yes.
Commissioner Woodcox.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Consideration of the August 3rd, 2026 meeting minutes and bills. Who had an opportunity to look at the bills? Commissioner Schwab?
Yeah, they were right this time. So the minutes, they look good to me, and the bills.
Is that a
So
motion?
I move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
And a motion second to approve the meeting minutes and bills. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Bakken.
Yes.
Schwab.
You made the
Vote
motion.
yes or no to
You made the motion.
Yes,
Woodcox.
Yes.
Munson.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Public comment. Anybody wish to speak under the public comment period? This is a public comment period. Anybody wish to speak? On up, state your name for the record. I think you fill in a little thing there.
Sure. Yeah, Commissioners, good afternoon. Mr. Chair, my name is Chase Downhauer. There's a card that I need to fill out, you said?
Usually there is. I'm not sure if it's there now or not.
Apologies, I didn't see that. But hey, my name is Chase Downhauer. I'm here on behalf of Papa's Pumpkin Patch here in Bismarck, and I just wanted to, I've been receiving some questions. I am the new owner of Papa's Pumpkin Patch. I'm transitioning the pumpkin patch from Dave Pierce Estates, that partnership, over to my land, which is just across the fence. I'm on the north side, or south side of Burnt Creek Loop, and east side of Fernwood Drive. A couple clarifying points that I've received questions on is that I've not come to the Planning and Zoning Board or the County Commission in regards to obtaining the appropriate permits. And I just wanted to clarify that I do and did come in 2020 when I hosted the Pumpkin Patch and went through the process to obtain a PUD. And work through the ordinance, as I saw fit. Went through the planning and zoning. Everything was published within the newspaper, and there was actually a specific request to keep people off of Fernwood Drive to mitigate the dust and the challenges that the old pumpkin patch had previously. So. One of the clarifying points that I wanted to make is that we will be working with local landowners to put signs up and stage and direct them down River Road, north on River Road, turning onto Burnt Creek Loop, and I have two approaches. One for my personal residence, and then near ultimately what I call my pasture land on the west side of the property. There's a shared approach between me and my neighbor that has been there for some time, and that's where people will enter into about a 15-acre parking lot, which is much larger than the old parking lot at Papa's Pumpkin Patch. So that should reduce and limit any traffic concerns on Burnt Creek Loop there. It's not a super heavily traveled road. There's a lot of scenic folks and coming out to, jump on misty waters to go on their pontoon. But we'll make sure that we have appropriate signage, enough room for people to access into the parking area. And then find their parking spot so it doesn't come, to a traffic jam there at that west approach. But I'll stand for any questions. If you have, I do have some documentation. I wasn't prepared to submit it today, but if staff would like me to submit it, I'd be happy to submit a digital copy.
Okay, commissioners, you have any questions?
Chase, I appreciate you coming up because I've been receiving some phone calls too, and you standing up there makes a big difference, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
See, sounds like he pretty much answered the questions that you
Yep.
you had talked about, right?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Woodcock.
I drove out there a couple of days ago, and you're already doing a lot of work, and good luck.
Thank you.
You
Thank
bet.
you. Yeah, three and a half weeks out. We got a lot of work to do, but I appreciate your guys' time
Have you
today.
got enough pumpkins?
They're coming, and
Oh,
it's been a good season. It's been a good season. Wet early, dry in the summer, and then the little bit of moisture we got now. So yes, it's going to be a good season.
Good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update, appreciate it. Hey, any other public comment? Once again, any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment period and we'll move on to the consent agenda. We got abatements, authorization to publish the weed cutting notice, 2026 Q2 investment report, and check replacements.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. I just have one comment to make on that weed cutting notice. You know, I think I've mentioned before, but I'll just mention it again. On my land that abuts the county road system, the county built the road up and made the slopes too steep for any of my mowers to mow. And so just for clarification, I'm not gonna go out there and mow according to this notice because the county made it so I can't.
We'll be checking, boy.
I know you will. I know you will. Lock and load. All right. Any other discussion?
I seconded, I think.
Yep. Okay. Call roll.
Commissioner Schwab,
Yes.
Commissioner Woodcox,
Yes.
Commissioner Munson.
Yes.
Commissioner Bakken,
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Designation of delegate to the annual North Dakota Association of Counties Conference.
Mr. Chair, I'd asked to put that on the agenda, or I was talking to Mary about it, actually, that I am attending that conference, and typically at this meeting, we elect a delegate, and in the past, I know we've always asked, or Missy Hanson has actually requested to be. So I guess I'll turn it over to Mary, and if you've had a conversation with Missy or not, I don't know.
I have not, but I would be willing to be the delegate if the commission wishes.
I would move to approve Mary to be the delegate.
Second.
Motion and a second to appoint Mary as a delegate to the North Dakota Association of Counties Conference. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Bakken.
Yeah, I think, so moving forward, now that Mary's in the role as our county administrator, I think that's a duty that going forward should fall on that position as well. So just, we don't have to do anything about it now, but I just think for discussion purposes, that should be one of the duties of the county administrator.
Okay, well, thanks for the input. That makes sense. Any other discussion? Call roll.
Commissioner Munson.
Yes.
Bakken,
Yes.
Schwab.
Yes.
Woodcox.
Yes.
Chairman Bittner.
Yes, motion carries. Next is other business. We're added that finance discussion. Welcome, Taylor. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Bittner and Commissioners, and I do apologize for not getting this in the agenda packet. This all kind of happened last minute, but I wanted to keep you all informed of the situation here. So I'll kind of go through this quickly, but essentially what happened is during the calculation of the 2025 mill levies, the value that was used to calculate those mill levies inadvertently included mobile homes and in lieu of taxes, which are not real estate technically. They're taxed with the mill levy. You know, they get tax statements, but they're not part of the valuation that is supposed to be used, and that was verified with the tax department, and we've not historically used those. And so what that did was it ultimately resulted in us, as Burleigh County, taxing about 900,000 less than what was certified by all the taxing districts. And that's any taxing district with a mobile home would have been affected by that. And this, one thing to note too, is that actually another district kind of discovered this discrepancy because what we had provided to them last year did not match what we had reported to the state. And so I did research that, and what was reported to the state was correct in terms of it's what we actually taxed. It was an error. We undertaxed what they requested, but that was what actually made it onto the tax rolls. And so with that information, including a letter that I'll be sending out this week, they'll have the information that they need to do their 2026 mill levies for the cap purposes because they need the historical data for those. I did contact the most significantly affected taxing districts and let them know, we discussed it, let them know the error, how it happened, and we kind of focused on how to prevent it in the future. And so a few things we're going to do is we're going to resume setting out mill levy confirmation. So, the districts, they all set their budgets, they certify a levy to us, we do the max mill levy calculation, and now there's actually, that's different than the 3% cap. The 3% cap is technically on the taxing districts themselves to figure out. We just do the statutory max mills, school general fund is 60, things like that. And once we get those calculated, we're going to reach out to them and send out mill levy confirmations. That's something we used to do, just so there's one more chance for us to double check each other's math. Make sure if there's anything that seems odd that they can question it, potentially address it before the budget season is over. And then another thing that we're going to implement is the year-end reporting that we do after tax statements go out. We're going to do that before tax statements go out. That way we have a couple more reports to cross-reference, make sure all the numbers match. And then again, if there's any discrepancy identified, we have a chance to correct that before tax statements are sent out. And then obviously we've documented this. We actually had a meeting with some finance staff that's all going to be in the auditor's office that is going to be assisting with this process to make sure we have some additional procedures so that this won't happen again. So we've documented this because that's really one of our struggles in the office is a lack of documentation. So we're just documenting all of this to make sure that this is one of the things we double check going forward so that this issue doesn't happen again. But I have no action requested at any time. Again, I've let the significantly affected districts, that's Bismarck Schools, Bismarck Parks, Bismarck, City of Bismarck. They had no follow-ups for me at this time. They're aware of it. They have a potential ability to recover some of that with their caps because it technically now, if they had raised to 3% last year, they didn't actually because it's based on what was taxed, not what they asked to be taxed. So they could potentially go higher than 3% this year, but obviously that's up to their respective boards. They may choose or may not choose to use that unused levy, and again, that's not something we have to deal with on our end. That's fully in their control. But at this time, I'll stand for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Taylor? I'm not seeing any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I got
Commissioner
a question
Wingo.
on something else. How's our state audit doing, and have they got a report back yet?
No, we're still working with Eide Bailey to get everything done. Things were a little messy, but I am in contact with the state auditors, and we're hoping to get that process started soon. But because we've typically been at the beginning of their list, but they're obviously, they have a lot of audits to do, and so we just moved to the back of their list, essentially. So he did just reach out to let me know that they're ready for us kind of in their schedule because they moved us to the later end of their schedule this year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other business for the good of Burleigh County? Seeing none, we are adjourned.